not the kind of video I want to do to return back on YouTube, but I feel as a wrestling fan, I am obligated to talk about one Eddie Umaga Fatu. I'm sure everyone's seen videos on YouTube, everyone's read the reports on their spoiler sites that they go to on what happened, and I thought I'd just give my my thoughts and my my opinions, or my condolences, of course, on Umaga, and condolences to his family, of course. But for those of you who don't know what happened, which I'm sure is a very small amount, like, he came home, he went to sleep on watching TV, his wife was there with him, and a couple hours later she comes back downstairs to where the TV was. Fatu is still there. She found him lying there, not breathing. He had blood coming out of his nose, and he was quickly rushed to the hospital at that time. And it was a heart attack, of course, and he was rushed to the hospital. He was put on life support for several hours, and while in the hospital he did suffer another heart attack, which is bad because he is only 36 years old, and having 2 heart attacks in a matter of 24 hours is not normal, of course, and he was pronounced dead at the hospital after the second heart attack. This happened in Texas, so he lived in Texas, he's going to be buried there and everything, and the WWE is going to contribute to his funeral and everything, because they're actually going to be in Texas this Monday, so I'm sure you're going to have a bunch of wrestlers there. They already posted something on WWE.com about Umaga's passing, and I personally will remember Umaga for being a super heavyweight who is so agile for his size, and he's known as one of those big guys, but not like tall big, but wide. He could move like, he could keep up with Jeff Hardy. He had matches with Jeff Hardy lots of times, incredible matches. Bobby Lashley was probably his most memorable feud, along with John Cena, but he's just, there's so many big guys who can actually move in the ring that will actually be remembered. Like, 4 that really come to mind are Undertaker, Bam Bam Bigelow, Umaga, and Yokozuna. And those 4 guys were just so agile for their weight and their height, of course, but, it's just, and 3 of them are already gone. Umaga's gone, Yokozuna, and Bam Bam Bigelow. And it's another thing that I'll remember Umaga for is being that character, that Samoan Savage character, and making it so believable. We're in an era right now where gimmicks don't exactly go over. It's more like the plain guys, like the John Cenas and the Edges, who really go over with the crowd. But when you bring in a guy who's supposed to be from, Samoa, and he's supposed to be this savage kind of beast guy, you would think, this guy's gonna last, 2 months to a year, not even. But the execution Umaga had of his character was just so accurate and just so amazing that I think that's what made the creative in Vince McMahon be like, this guy can make something of himself and his character, which is, I think, why he was put in that big main event at WrestleMania 23, which was the most revenuing WrestleMania of all time, and he was part of the headline match, being the hair versus hair. Even though the match wasn't, that amazing, it was okay, it wasn't that bad, but, it was just like something in his career that he can look back on and being like, I was part of that, I was the main attraction, along with Donald Trump and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And just, memorable moments to me about Umaga, just his matches with John Cena, was it the Last Man Standing match, where John Cena put the STFU and with the ropes. That was one memorable thing. The hair versus hair, of course, and another one that not too many people remember is the Bobby Lashley and Umaga feud, where it was on ECW, I believe, where Lashley was in a cage match and he jumped over the cage on Umaga. He broke right through the cage. That was one memorable moment. And I personally started becoming a fan of Umaga just before he got injured. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of him, but I did not, bash him, because I knew what kind of ring work he had in him. But when he came back, I was like all Umaga. I was really big on the guy, and then he got injured again. He wouldn't go to rehab, and he got released, so it was kind of like a bummer for me not to see him anymore. And when he did get released, you could have expected that him and Kennedy, but that's a different story, but they would go to TNA, but, they did. And they started doing the indie shows, and Umaga's last event was in Australia for the Hulkamania tour, and he did face Kennedy in that. And that's it. That's his last match. And it was kind of weird when I thought about it, because Eddie Guerrero, his last match was against Kennedy as well, and after that he just died too. So it was really tragic. It's just another name for all those people all those reporters who talk about how bad wrestling is for you. Umaga just could be another name on that list for guys who died under the age of 40, 45, and a heart attack at 36. That's not normal, and 2 heart attacks, and just on top of that, it's just something it's hard to believe, but it's reality now. So Umaga will be used in the past tense, and for another wrestler like Umaga, there's a bunch of talented Samoan wrestlers out. Manu, not including Manu, but yeah, just another, there's so many knockoffs of the Samoan Savage, Manu being one of them, and then Samoa Joe, of course, who does a good job of pulling it off. But there's just so many handful of guys who can really pull off that huge, beastly character, and he will be missed for that. So I know everyone on YouTube really saying their thing about Umaga, which is good. He deserves this. He earned it, in my opinion. So I'll see you guys next time.